Good evening. Welcome, 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 everyone. Deal with this thing, alright, just because, man. Tell the boy. What a thing, what a thing, what a thing. What a thing, what a thing, what a thing. Um, yeah, let me just run through this as quickly as possible. Set these up. As you come in, please hit the like button if you're watching the replay, especially those watching the replay. Say hi in the comment section, of course. You know, big up to the replay gang. I want to encourage more persons to be a part of the replay gang, seeing that so many of us on the platform don't catch the live. You understand? You know, I wasn't gonna touch this, but I have to address some serious lies being told by former agents, the incubator for the JLP from NNN. I really have to, because it's so blatant, it's so disgusting that, you know, these people clearly have no shame, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to address some other things as well. All right? Because all it took was a simple Google search. That's all it took. A simple Google search to debunk the lie that was told by this clown. Right? Dressed up like a Barney the other day in a purple, like a funeral him ago. I don't know which funeral him ago, but look like a funeral him ago. Not true? Unbelievable. How can you, as a grown man, make a complete ASS of yourself by blatantly lying to the people of Jamaica and getting exposed, right? And it's like, I don't know, maybe we are getting immune to the lies that these people tell, but it shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the case, ladies and gentlemen. We have to shun the very appearance of evil, and we have to call out the lies. Because lies lead to corruption and corruption lead to crime. All of them are cousins. You understand? Once you start lying, you tend for one thief. Right? And therein lies corruption. And once you're gone into corruption, here goes full-blown crime. It goes to another level. You feel what I deal with? So, you can't have this. This is really, really bad.
We need no movement day, or we will light every gas station.
Oh Lord, what is this?
In the country and wake it up.
No. What? Hold on, let me turn down that. Hi guys, how you doing? How are you today? This Ash Wednesday. I didn't even remember it was a holiday. What is this? What going on so? Why is all of my Facebook being shut down all over the place? I never said to shut down my Facebook all over the place. Let me check my phone now to see my Facebook up on it, because as soon as I sign in on one device, it's going to lock off the next one. Okay. Like, what? Like, bro, what the hell is going on, man? Anyway, let me connect this Bluetooth here and let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot waste any time. Time is of the essence. When I did my live earlier and I went to sleep, just a wake up, because I didn't sleep all night last night. So yeah, here I am a few hours from waking up, a couple hours from waking up. Justin said we are doing good just now, thanks be to God. Awesome. Yeah, man, remember to like and share the live, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember to like and share the live. Don't keep this to yourself. When they call it Jamaica Liar Party, Yeah, man, that me a title my TikTok video. Jamaica Lion Party. No, sir. Ain't too terrible. So let me do it like this. Because we have to give context. So recently, the budget was read. And the Jamaica Labour Party, you know, they expressed their intention to once again raid the barn. Right? So this was Mark Golden, right? Why is this not connected, Father? But it's connected. It's actually connected. Maybe it's connected to two devices. Hold on there. Do I have my Bluetooth on anywhere else? Oh no, not there. Let me see over here. No, not over here. Oh, this is not funny. Hold on there, people. I'm having some technical difficulties with this thing here. I had it connected before I came on, but I don't know why it's not coming through the speaker. So you guys can hear it more clearly. No man. No man. Something wrong, man. Something wrong with Jamaica. Oh. That figures. When I'm gonna go on my own live and it's gonna reverberate the audio, that's when the audio comes through the speaker. Yeah. Anyway, we have it connected now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to this right here. So this was Mr. Mark Golden raising some concerns about the NHT.
On the housing situation in Jamaica. Greetings. Today I want to talk a bit more about the National Housing Trust. I did a video a couple of weeks ago celebrating the fact that this year is the 50th anniversary of the National Housing Trust, an institution started in 1976 by then Prime Minister Michael Manley, and that institution which has had a transformational impact on the housing situation in Jamaica over the years since then. Now, in 2013, when the PNP government had just come into office, we faced a situation where the debt of the country was completely out of control. We inherited that from Bruce Golding, his regime, who had entered into an IMF agreement. You remember they had to abandon it. They were performing in the commitments
very important topic, Joel.
We had to
dispel the lies, you know,
control and get the debt down. And we got advice, independent professional financial advice that said that if we did this for 4 years, it wouldn't impact adversely the NHT's performance of its mandate. And the decision was taken to help to get Jamaica back on its feet at a critical time by this 4-year commitment. The law was amended to allow that. At the time, Andrew Holness spoke against it. He's on record, I believe, on TV saying that if he was Prime Minister, he would ensure that the resources of the trust were only used for the purposes for which they were funded there and so on.
That in principle, you believe that NHT funds should be ring-fenced to be used for NHT contributors?
It should be ring-fenced to use for the objects and purposes of the legislation. Yes.
So let's just say the court ruling goes either way. Let's say there is a court ruling that says, no, actually, the government can use it for whatever it wants. You have your belief in principle. Does that mean that as Prime Minister, you would then follow through on those principles?
Yes,
either amend the law if necessary,
yes,
and ensure, in fact, that the dipping into the piggy bank doesn't occur?
And I tell you why.
That's a commitment?
I think it stands as a commitment. And I tell you why. There is a point of view that all public funds should be pooled, whether they are in trusts or that, having the public sector funds fragmented in this way doesn't help the central government. But then there is also another view that there are some funds that belong to account holders, funds like pension, funds like the NHD, and those funds ought to be totally excluded because technically they are the private property of contributors.
Well, since then, 10 years, the government has each year taken another $11.4 billion out of the National Housing Trust. They passed amendments to the NHT Act twice to allow them to do that. So you can imagine how disappointing it is to hear yesterday when they tabled the revenue measures that they plan to extend that for a further 5 years, take $11.4 billion a year out of the National Housing Trust for 5 more years. That's $57 billion on top of the $114 billion that they've already taken out of the NHT over the last 10 years. Now I have to ask you, doesn't Jamaica have a critical problem with affordable housing?
Talk about it.
Aren't Jamaican people, especially young people, struggling to find a way of acquiring their own home? Mm-hmm. The NHT is the vehicle that should be doing that. Right. When you keep taking the money out of it in such large amounts, you can't fulfill that mandate. And it's not fulfilling that mandate. And that is why in the PNP's manifesto in the last general elections, we committed to stopping that. We would no longer take the money out of the trust to fund the budget, which is what they've been doing, and which they're committing to do another 5 years. And they're going to have to pass legislation, implement that. So we're very disappointed by that. Right. And we think it doesn't make sense anyway, even if you were going to do it for 1 more year, because of the problems due to Melissa and trying to work out how to fund the budget, that would have been bad and not so bad. But to say now that you're going to spend it for 5 more years, when housing is such a problem in the country, what about the 40,000 people who lost their homes in Melissa? The NHT should be playing a much bigger role in getting them back on their feet. They should be at the center of it. And the 90,000 additional people who had severe damage to their roofs and so on. Why are you depleting the NHT of resources as an agency set up for dealing with situations to do with housing? Put it into the general part of the budget where it is spent on wages and salaries and what have you. So we don't support this, and I certainly am very disappointed that they are coming with it. And I'm going to try my best to persuade them to think again, because there's no way we can support 5 more years taking the resources of this level out of the National Housing Trust, especially in its 50th anniversary year. Of course, I'm aware that the revenue measures include a large tax component as well, and I will be making comments on that at a future time.
So, you hear clearly from Mark Jefferson Golden in regards to his disappointment by the government to now looking to raid the barn of the NHT for 5 more years. So ABCA fits in the run out. And this is what he had to say.
And I tell you why. The former PNP administration began the drawdowns from the Golding's comments are disingenuous, and I tell you why. The former PNP administration began the drawdowns from the NHT to make up for a deficit occasioned by the bad management of the Jamaican economy. which involved crisis after crisis, including the FinSac debacle. Now we've had another.
This is a bold-faced lie, ladies and gentlemen. This is disinformation and misinformation. What he said right there, sir, is a bold-faced lie. Disinformation and misinformation. Share this live stream. Share this live stream. Share this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. They're gonna get
Golding's comments are disingenuous, and I tell you why. The former PNP administration began the drawdowns from the NHT to make up for a deficit occasioned by the bad management of the Jamaican economy, which involved crisis after crisis, including the FinSac debacle. Now, we've had a natural disaster, Hurricane Melissa, which has accounted for approximately 40% of GDP. And Golding is suggesting that time be called on these drawdowns. His arguments are specious, diabolical, lack credibility, and obviously a vulgar political statement. Golding understands that if the drawdowns...
By the way, everything he's saying about Mark Golding is the definition of his statement. A vulgar political ploy coming right here, so I'm just lying to the people of Jamaica. I'm going to play it again uninterrupted. But my God, it's so egregious, ladies and gentlemen, when the evidence is quite clear. Look at the thumbnail. One of the incubators from NNN, ladies and gentlemen. One of the products of the incubators of NNN. Abka Fitz-Edley. Maga when in be a NNN and once in coming at JLP, fat, get big, swell up like a bullfrog on the top. A one thing when they did big from morning, but a one thing when they slim and get big, you know. Mighty God, look at him leg them. Like two twig, him look like one of the characters them in the new cartoon them that I'm making at the modern times. Stick legs. And he sounds as ridiculous as he looks in his purple on that day. As ridiculous as he looks. I don't know what it is with him on purple. I was searching for some pictures and I realized him always like having one purple time most of the time. You ever see him in a parliament looking up in the sky when he's talking, searching for some type of ideas? Or maybe searching for some lies. Terrible, man. This is terrible.
So the NHT are suspended at this time. That would mean a major deficit in the budget, one, or would attract additional new taxes. Therefore, his attempt to use the demands of a crisis, a natural disaster, to score political points is unfortunate, but it is consistent with his general approach to politics. It is the kind of politics that the people of Jamaica said no to on the 3rd of September. The administration of Dr. Holness has built the most houses across our terms in office than any administration in the history of Jamaica.
Oh, what the backside? Someone never hear this a liar. Someone I forgot address this too. No, Jamaica only can call in here. Comrades only can call in. No, comrades only can call in on the show. Comrades only can call in. More hear from on. No, this is bad. Before me even get in the evidence I have for destroy Abka Fitz-Edley and just totally discredit what he's talking about. Only can call me. More hear from on. I want to hear from you. I'm going to play it one more time. What?
That cannot be contested.
My God.
However, we are not satisfied. And the NHT, the HAJ, and the various housing agencies understand that it is their mandate to expand and intensify the number of housing solutions which are made available to Jamaicans. So work is taking place because we are sensitive to the needs of the Jamaican people. Golding's comments are disingenuous, and I tell you why. The former PNP administration began the drawdowns from the NHT to make up for a deficit occasioned by the bad management of the Jamaican economy, which involved crisis after crisis, including the FinSac debacle. Now, we've had a natural disaster, Hurricane Melissa, which has accounted for approximately 40% of GDP. And Golding is suggesting that time be called on these drawdowns. His arguments are specious, diabolical, lack credibility, and obviously a vulgar political statement. Golding understands that if the drawdowns from the NHT are suspended at this time, that would mean a major deficit in the budget, one, or would attract additional new taxes. Therefore, his attempt to use the demands of a crisis, a natural disaster, to score political points is unfortunate, but it is consistent with his general approach to politics. It is the kind of politics that the people of Jamaica said no to on the 3rd of September. The administration of Dr. Holness has built the most houses across our terms in office than any administration in the history of Jamaica. That cannot be contested. However, we are not satisfied, and the NHT, the HAJ, and the various housing agencies understand that it is their mandate to expand and intensify the number of housing solutions which are made available to Jamaicans. So work is taking place because we are sensitive to the needs of the Jamaican people. Golding's comments are disingenuous, and I tell you why. The former PNP administration began the drawdowns from the NHT to make up for a deficit occasioned by the bad management of the Jamaican economy, which involved crisis after crisis, including the Finsack debacle. Now, we've had a natural disaster, Hurricane Melissa, which has accounted for approximately 40% of GDP. And Golding is suggesting that time be called of these drawdowns. His arguments are specious, diabolical, lack credibility, and obviously a vulgar political statement. Golding understands that if the drawdowns from the NHT are suspended at this time, that would mean a major deficit in the budget, one, or would attract additional new taxes. Therefore, his attempt to use the demands of a crisis, a natural disaster, to score political points is unfortunate, but it is consistent with his general approach to politics. It is the kind of politics that the people of Jamaica said no to on the 3rd of September. The administration of Dr. Holness has built the most houses across our terms in office than any administration in the history of Jamaica. That cannot be contested. However, we are not satisfied, and the NHT, the HAJ, and the various housing agencies understand that it is their mandate to expand and intensify the number of housing solutions which are made available to Jamaicans. So work is taking place because we are sensitive to the needs of the Jamaican people. Golding's comments are disingenuous, and I tell you why. The former PNP...
Wow. You have to really listen to that a few times. If you really come to terms with the level of dishonesty, utterance from this man. I mean, blatant. This is more than disinformation. This is more than disinformation. What did Miss Lady they say? Dora the Explorer. So we have Barney and we have Dora the Explorer. Right? We have Barney and we have Dora the Explorer. A bold-faced lie, ladies and gentlemen. Bold-faced lie. Where do I begin? Wow. Wow. Listen to this. I know me I go pause it. Notice me make it play it 3 times. Alright. Listen now.
Golding's comments are disingenuous. And
pause. What does disingenuous mean? Every word when you use, may I use against him. Disingenuous. Meaning not candid or sincere. Typically pretending that one knows less about something than one really does. He is disingenuous. He knows exactly what happened, why the People's National Party in 2013, right, had to use the NHT. Why? Because he has heard of it, and the evidence has been shown many times by the People's National Party. They have repeated it several times, the facts around that situation. They have repeated it. And I'm going to repeat it again because the truth stands on its own and the lie will dissipate. The lie will wash away like sugar and salt. You understand? Once water is applied. When truth applied, when the sun shines, the darkness disappears, ladies and gentlemen. Right? What is this? Oh yes, I mean, we're not even gonna go there. We're not even gonna go there. Let's listen to more. So he says Mark Golding is disingenuous. That means he's not sincere, and he's typically pretending that one knows less than about something than what really does. All right,
I tell you why. The former PNP administration began the drawdowns from the NHT to make up for a deficit occasioned by the bad management of the Jamaican economy.
That's a lie.
Which involved crisis after crisis, including the FinSac debacle. Now, we've had
this lie. You see this lie? This lie is astronomical. And let me tell you why. He's connecting FinSac to the NHT debacle. Ladies and gentlemen, both those things are light years apart. And FinSac was a solution to a problem that the JLP and their surrogates and their friends from the private sector, right? They are the ones that created that situation, and the People's National Party is the one that tried to remedy it and fix it. And and all I have to say to them is release the Crow report, release the FinSac report, and tell me where I'm lying. I bet you no can't do it. I double dare the Jamaica Labour Party to release the FinSac report and the Crow report. Release it. And let's see where the chips fall. Lying chop. Anyway, he went on to say that the issues why the People's National Party had to go and use the $11.4 billion from the NHT from 2013 is because of the poor financial. Let me play with him, sir. I don't want to tell no lie.
Management of the Jamaican economy.
Right, this one.
For a deficit occasioned by the bad management of the Jamaican economy.
So, because he, according to APCA, Lion Fitzhenley, aka Mr. Barney, right, looking like him ready for go on funeral, according to him, the People's National Party had to use the 11.4 billion, right? The first time it happened, we did it as a fact, but the reason why is because of bad, poor management of the economy on the People's National Party part. That is a bold-faced lie. Here are the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the facts. All you have to do is Google why the People's National Party had to use the money, right? The People's National Party administration led by Portia Simpson amended the National Housing Trust NHT Act in 2013 to facilitate the withdrawal of 11.4 billion annually from the NHT for 4 years, ending 2017, to support the national budget. Point 1, fiscal consolidation and debt. Sustainability withdrawals were part of a strategy to meet with strict financial targets required by a 4-year extended fund with the International Monetary Fund. Ladies and gentlemen, on the hear why they had to facilitate the NHT. There's no argument around that. Why did we have an issue with the IMF? Because of the Jamaica Labour Party. Because they took a deal with them and never attempted to pass any of the tests them. And we were shut out from the bank, the World Bank. We were shut out from IMF and all banking institutions all around the world. This is a fact. There's nobody that can argue facts. Mama P had to go down on her knees literally to beg the IMF to see Jamaica in a meeting. They wouldn't even meet with us. So because the situation was already untenable, it was an emergency. It was only for 4 years. Only for 4 years. Why is Andrew One still using it now? He doesn't have to, because he doesn't have those same strict measures of compliance to actually pay down, to actually pass any IMF tests. Mama P and the People's National Party already did the heavy lifting, and they also created the fiscal papers to make sure that we would never be in this situation again, Jamaica. That is the truth, right? It goes on to say budgetary support. The government utilized the fund to support the national budget during a period of intense economic reconstructing. The reason why it needed to be reconstructed is because of the JLP the year before, the term before. You understand? Economic reform program. The transfer was deemed necessary under the government's economic reform program to prevent higher tax packages or sharper austerity measures. Austerity measures. These austerity measures was as a result of the Jamaica Liad Party not passing not even attempting to pass the IMF tents. Right? K Spencer, how you doing? Jetline, big up. Matthew, how are you? Big up on yourself on TikTok. On the top of the screen for me, man. You know the aim is 50,000 likes on the live, you know. Right? I don't want to repeat that. When I'm a moderator, they help me out. You know, encourage people to hit the like button here so we can get to 50,000 likes. And for the persons on YouTube, right up here, so at the top, somewhere you will see a thumbs up button. Just hit the thumbs up button to hit the like button. Alright, let's continue. It says here that while the policy began under the PNP, the subsequent Jamaica Labour Party administration also continued and extended the practice during the drawing the 11.4 billion annually from the NHT. The move was controversial, with opponents at the time describing it as a raid on the NHT fund. No, we're gonna go to that clip before we go to Liat Apka Fitz-Henley. Let's go to that clip with Andrew Onis. This was Andrew Onis years ago in regards to the national. And this man is such a wicked individual, and I can't say it any other way, guys. Andrew Onis is a wicked individual. And let me tell you why he's a wicked individual. Andrew Onis knew very well the years before, under his administration while he was there as a senior member of the Jamaica Labour Party, that they destroyed the economy. And that is the reason why Mama P had to use the NHT fund, because of these strict austerity measures. Mama P do the heavy lifting and make it easier for them, right? Where they cannot break the actual law and violate the terms of paying back the debt, so the debt to GDP would be done. The same thing when my boss about all the while. And Mama P and the PMP do that. It's not him. He always takes credit for what he did not do. Right? Listen to this hypocrisy from him here.
You know, I read the columns and I hear all the discussions. What I find is that people are very willing to just accept what is presented without a thorough interrogation of the options. Because you see, implicit in this argument which is being presented that this is a time of crisis, this is a matter of national importance, there is this great urgency that we must treat the law as a matter of convenience. And that is the danger of this debate. Convenience. I don't believe that the legislation that is presented here is in any way perfects the intentions of the government.
We can't get gifts on YouTube now, too, you know, guys. Just like how we get gifts on TikTok, on Bolo VNR 2.0, it's available. You hear that? Thank you so much for that gift, Dior. Thank you, baby. See, let me get a bronze medal. I mean, if you get what do you call it now? A gold medal, you know.
The issue, Mr. Speaker. The issue, Mr. Speaker, is that this present piece of legislation that you're hoping to amend.
And for full context, this is the NHT. You know. This was Andrew Honest's position at the debate, you know, ladies and gentlemen, about the NHT, you know, amendment, you know. Listen, you know.
Does not in any way relieve the consideration that you are taking private funds. Listen, the only word that can describe government taking private funds without the consent of the persons giving it or of the persons who own it is expropriation.
Expropriation, all right.
That's what it amounts to.
Yeah,
you know, it wasn't any mistaken language when Michael Manley said it is the financial institution of the housing sector. Because effectively, this is where poor people would put their money, save it with that institution to get housing.
I want you guys to remember that. Because Abka Fitzhenley in the audio, you know what he said? He said that the Jamaica Labour Party built the most houses out of any administration. And I want to fact check that. What type of houses? Houses for the poor? Or houses that the poor cannot afford? So even if Abka Fitzhenley is right in his, and I doubt it very much, you would have to do the research on that. I don't see how this party build the most houses. When, listen, I mean, PJ was like a guru at building houses for poor people and the Jamaican people using NHT for what it was mandated for. Also, Mr. Matthew, big up yourself. Also, Mr. My name, Michael Manley. Yeah, both those gentlemen, when they talk about building houses, guys, you know that even with the austerity measures, I have to say big up to Mama P. And I hope she makes it right with the Most High. Because that's ultimately what we all need to do, right? Hope she's good with the Most High, right? Look, Mama P actually built schools while she had these very strict austerity measures, you know. What is Andrew Honest's excuse for not building one school when he got the economy in a place where you didn't have to use the NHT fund for the budget? You chose to do that. You didn't have to. There was no reason for you to do that. There was actually, the economy was in such a good place and pivoted to growing that you and Nigel Clark said, yes, you know, we are going to have 5% growth in 4 years. Never happened. Pipe dream, promises, right? Our so-called commitments that was never fulfilled. Right? This is what they do, ladies and gentlemen. This is what they do. But listen to the man, the man say, yo, this man is easier.
Does not when Michael Manley said it is the financial institution of the housing sector. Because effectively, this is where poor people would put their money, save it with that institution to get housing.
I am so glad you know that, Andrew. I am so glad you knew that. So why is the reason why under your government, the NHT is being used to build unaffordable housing? Why is that? Houses that poor people cannot afford. It's not like you guys raise the level. Patricia, you good, me baby? It's not like you guys raise the level of people's, state of quality of living in terms of earnings. So now, the average Jamaican can afford a $15 million home easily, or a $22 million home. These are the prices of the homes, even more than that NHT is building. But you know that the NHT is for poor people. But under your government, you guys don't build houses for poor people, or enough of them. Mighty God. And then one having the audacity, this guy, what his name, Barney. That's what I'm saying, Neville. Michael Manley build the most houses for poor people. But the thing that Liad Abka said was that his government build the most houses. He never said for poor people. And I am still questioning that. I am still questioning this argument where Abka put out that, and we need to question it. You understand?
Technically now it is akin to you putting your money in the bank and the government going to the bank and say, give me the money.
That is stealing, right? That is stealing, right? So according to Andrew Holness, the People's National Party was stealing the people their money. It is akin to the people putting their money in the bank and the government taking it. What has Andrew Holness government did for the last 10 years? They take the money in Jamaica. I know my plan to take it for the next 5 years. This is what Mark Gordon is talking about. So how can Abka Fitz-Henley look at intelligent Jamaican people? Because all of we not done, you know, all of we not die-hearted, you know. How can you look at intelligent people and say to us, Mark Golding is being disingenuous, when Mark Golding is defending the poor people? The position of Nix, how you doing, Nix? Mark Golding is defending the poor people that are homeless in Hanover, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Centon, Eastern Portland. Mark Golding is defending those people. Mark Golding is saying, stop raiding the barn, because that was just an austerity measure and it ended 2017. There was no need to continue. Start using back the money for the people. You have raided it long enough. You have stole the money long enough, Jamaica Lion Party. Because according to Andrew, it is stealing. He didn't care about the context of the fact that the Jamaica Labour Party destroyed our reputation worldwide and we couldn't get any money. Can you, guys, let me tell you something. If Portia Simpson Miller did not fix the relationship with the IMF, what would you think would have happened with Beryl? What you think would have happened? I don't think we would have reached Beryl. Jamaica would have been totally destroyed 5 years ago. Right? We would be in political and economical ruin because of the Jamaica Labour Party. If Mama P and her Superman administration, right, at the time, didn't do the things they did. And they did a lot of things because they were not egotistical, right? They brought in advisors that knew what the hell they were doing financially to help to maneuver that very delicate financial period. It was terrible. It was really bad. I don't think people appreciate exactly what it is and the position that we were in, that the Jamaica Labour Party put us in. And I'm not going to stop talking about it because I see they want to brush over it like it never happened. All right? So we're going to continue to blaze that fire and remind the people of Jamaica the facts surrounding the 2013 move to go to the NHT. It's not just words. All the information is there, ladies and gentlemen. There's interviews with the lady from the World Bank. She came here and spoke with the PMP and addressed the nation. Do some reading and stop allowing the agents of the JLP, incubator, NNN, that come over to the government to come and lie to you, right? Mr. Sharpneck Abka, Barney the Bear, devil version, because Barney the Bear is a nice cartoon. He just look like Barney the Bear, but I'm more like the Chucky version. He just come out and lie to the people. Mighty God. Terrible man.
You want a better analogy? You want a better analogy? Oh no, that was good, but I'll give you a better one. A better analogy, Mr. Speaker, and I'm sure everyone in this country will understand. Michael Manley set up an institution like a partner. A revolving fund. You put in your money, when your turn comes, you get your benefit. What has happened now is that the government stick up the partner bank.
Ashley. So you hear that? You hear what he's insinuating? So the government stick up the banker partner, the person that hold the money. Phoenix, big up, right? That's what Andrew Holness said when they were amending the NHT fund thing, you know, so that they could pull the funds to help to pay these very strict punishing austerity measures. Listen, the IMF wanted Jamaica to fail, you know. Listen to me. Portia Simpson Miller was not supposed to pull this off, you know. I wonder if you guys understand what I'm saying. Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller, the right honorable, right, was given a task to fail Jamaica. They didn't want us to actually, you know, the level of respect that we got from actually passing those strict measures. The IMF wanted and the World Bank wanted Jamaica to sink economically because of the disrespect of the Jamaica Labour Party, then government led by Bruce Golding with Manayard as the Minister of Finance and Andrew Ones as a senior member in government. Because we not take him out, he was there, he was a part of it. To the point where when the extradition came for Dodos and Suchman had to resign, who was the Prime Minister shortly, for a short stint until Mama P beat him. Andrew Ones, that is how much he was integral in that whole situation. But let's hear more from this guy right here. Let's go back to the lies he told a while ago.
His comments are disingenuous, and I tell you why. The former PNP administration began the drawdowns from the NHT to make up for a deficit occasioned by the bad management of the Jamaican economy, which involved crisis after crisis, including the FinSac debacle. Now, we've had...
I just debunked that a while ago. That is a bold-faced lie, but let's continue.
A natural disaster, Hurricane Melissa, which has accounted for approximately 40% of GDP, and Golding is suggesting that time be called for these drawdowns. His arguments are specious, diabolical.
Specious and diabolical. We know what diabolical means. Specious. Specious means superficial. Right? Plausible, but actually wrong. Misleading in appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, the argument that he's making, I tell you, you know, the argument that he's making, you know, is misleading, you know. He misled everybody with his first statement that the People's National Party was the reason why the NHT fund was actually withdrew from the NHT. The money was withdrew from the NHT, 11.4 billion. It's not a fault of the People's National Party. The People's National Party was cleaning up the mess of the Jamaica Labour Party. So that was specious. It was misleading. It was diabolical, as a matter of fact. Everything he's saying, he's projecting his own argument was diabolical, because what did he do? He also went on to associate the FinSac and link it and attach it to that present situation with the NHT fund, to say somehow, you know, FinSac was the reason why we got here, why, you know, it was just bad mismanagement and a series of bad mismanagement by the People's National Party that connected this whole debacle where they had to borrow the money, take the money from the NHT. Apka Fitz Henley, you are a shameless liar. Yeah, man, shameless liar. There's no other way to look at it in my book. You're a shameless liar. This is what you get paid for, to come online and lie. But it don't surprise me, because you are one of the products of the incubator of NNN for the JLP. Yeah, man. You are one of those products. So I guess your job is to just come on the internet and just lie to the people. I mean, this is very egregious, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't believe it when I heard it. Oh, and wait, there's more.
Lack credibility and obviously a vulgar political statement.
Yo, what is more vulgar than the lies that was told in the first 40 seconds of this particular audio from Apka Fitz Henley? What is more vulgar than that? And politically egregious. Stand on the truth, man. If your party was doing well, you can't stand the truth. But because you guys really don't have any good reputation in terms of managing the country, you have to resort to lies. And the lies are easily dispelled.
They understand that if the drawdowns from the NHT are suspended at this time, that would mean a major deficit in the budget, one. Or
You know, that argument that he's making is foolish. Because why? The NHT budget was never designed. The NHT fund was never designed to fund the budget. He's making it seem like, listen, this is the only way we can have a budget that is credible. That tells you how much they have mismanaged the money, ladies and gentlemen. Jamaica never used to take the money from the NHT fund. That's not what it's there for. The NHT fund is there for aiding poor people to access funds based off their contributions to NHT. It's their money. And after 2017, there was no need to continue using the money. They have gotten comfortable, ladies and gentlemen. They are not fiscally prudent. They are not fiscally disciplined. How are you doing, Leon? They are not fiscally disciplined. Because what he's telling me now is that his administration don't know any other way. They have gotten so used to robbing and raiding the barn of NHT, they can't seem to figure out another way how to supplement the budget without using the 11.4 billion. All it tells me is that they're going to continue, if they're in power, to raid the barn. While Andrew Honest on the clip with Dean Jackson Miller on TV said this.
That in principle, you believe that NHT funds should be ring-fenced to be used for NHT contributors.
It should be ring-fenced to use for the objects and purposes of the legislation, yes.
So let's just say the court ruling goes either way. Let's say there is a court ruling that says, no, actually, the government can use it for whatever it wants. You have your belief in principle. Does that mean that as Prime Minister, you would then follow through on those principles?
Yes, my
either
principles
amend the
are-
law if necessary,
Yes.
and ensure, in fact, that the dipping into the piggy bank doesn't occur.
And I tell you why.
That's
so-
a commitment.
I think it stands as a commitment.
Want to hear that?
And I tell you why. There is a point of view that all public funds should be pooled, whether they are in trusts or that, you know, having the public sector funds fragmented in this way doesn't help central government. But then there is also another view that there are some funds that belong to account holders, funds like pension, funds like the NHD, and those funds ought to be totally excluded because technically they are the private property of contributors. To account holders, funds like pension, funds like the NHD, and those funds ought to be totally excluded because, and those funds ought to be totally excluded, and those funds ought to be totally excluded because technically they are the private property of contributors.
That in
You hear that? That was the position of Andrew Honest before the funds were started, before they started taking the funds from NHT. And now he cannot stop. Now he amended the act to continue. When Mama P done do the work already, there's no need for it. Listen, this government has collected the most taxes now. So you're telling me, in the history of any government, this government has collected the most taxes. Look it up. So with collecting the most taxes, you're telling me that you cannot fund a budget without using the NHT fund? Where's the money going, Jamaica? Where is it going? That is the magical question. Where is it going?
Would attract additional new taxes. Therefore, his attempt to use the demands of a crisis, a natural disaster, to score political points is unfortunate, but it is consistent.
This part of it really bothers me. And the people that actually believe the nonsense that this man is saying and the lies that's coming out of his mouth, shame on you. Mark Golding's position is not to score political points. Mark Golding is rightfully concerned about the thousands of people that are homeless. And the man is saying clearly, use the money that is there for helping those people in the first place, for those people, because the government not help them. The government is not helping them, ladies and gentlemen. $75,000 ain't doing nothing. $500,000 ain't doing nothing. People has lost everything. Children are still living on a tarpaulin. Rain a fall upon them. These people are some wicked, uncaring people. This person can come off from a page. How much PMP pay on because on beyond mad literally Jamal Duns. Wow. You have no shame. You have no shame. Here goes another shameless supporter of the Jamaica Lion Party. Jamal that actually increased people's IQ. Move them from dunceness to brightness. Right? Civics in schools, all the wonderful things that the People's National Party did to empower the people of Jamaica. This man is, I mean, yo.
Use the demands of a crisis, a natural disaster, to score political points is unfortunate.
Like I was saying, Mark Jefferson Golding is worried about the thousands of people that are homeless. The government is not doing enough, and they're not doing things in a time. They have not done things in a timely manner. Bless Bubbly. They have not done things in a timely manner, ladies and gentlemen. And the people are suffering. And that's a fact. You understand what I'm saying? They never address the problem and dealt with it swiftly. They never deal with the assessment swift enough. So that the money can start rolling out. The little money we never give people can start rolling out. Right? Just like how you see them take 150 million US figure JPS to get people to come down, to come deal with them thing and say about February, that's our next argument. They could have done the same thing in getting people to start assessments from the second week or third week after the storm. The second or third week after the storm, you do a mass assessment. You understand? You attack it with everything you have. Get the resources. You understand? Thank you. With everything you have, ladies and gentlemen. And that way, after making the assessment, then you know, after in a 2-3 week, the monies could have been deployed as swiftly as possible. Ryan Campbell, what you're doing to the people of Jamaica. Yeah. That needed the help. Especially the persons that are like most vulnerable, mothers, you know, elderly and stuff like that. But they never did that. And now we are here at this point after 4 months after the storm, going into a 5th month after the storm, and people are in some dire situations, and their plan is to, 1, tax the hell out of us, and 2, take away the money that's supposed to help the people and get a house over them head. This is the wickedest government I've ever seen, I've ever experienced in my entire life here in Jamaica, and ever heard about historically. The wickedest, evilest government I've ever seen. Mighty God.
But it is consistent with his general approach to politics. It is the kind of politics that the people of Jamaica said no to on the 3rd of September. The administration of Dr. Holness has built the most houses across our terms in office than any administration in the history of Jamaica. That
No, I can get away with that, bro. No, I can get away with that.
cannot be contested. However, we are not satisfied, and the NHG, the HAJ, and the various housing agencies understand that it is their mandate to expand and intensify the number of housing solutions which are made available to Jamaicans. So work is taking place because we are sensitive to the needs of the Jamaican people.
So, say for instance that they did build the most houses. If you are sensitive to the Jamaican needs, how can you build houses that they can't afford? They need a house. How are they gonna get it? They're gonna give it to them for free? You see the rubbish and garbage coming out and the lies coming out of this youth, man. Anyway, big things go on yesterday, ladies and gentlemen.
Has taken 2 men, and CVM TV has been tracking a developing story where the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division has taken 2 men into custody from the FedEx's head office on Halfway Tree Road. That's 40 Halfway Tree Road. Now 2 men are being questioned right here now at the head office for the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division. And a white Toyota Axio has also been seized as part of this operation. We understand there's a quantity of cocaine has been seized. Of course, we're continuing to track this story and get information, and as soon as an update is available, we will provide that on CVM television.
Now, CVM News spoke with Director of FNID, Superintendent Patrick Roux, for an update on today's operation.
The operation today is a part of FNID broader effort to interrupt drug trafficking through the use of courier services. Last year, we had almost 200 cases of courier service seizures, and seizures means that we have seized a percentage of what was transshipped through courier services, which means that it's an area of significant concern.
People, Donald Trump a pressure them, you know. Donald Trump a pressure them. Believe, I USA pressure them about this. There's so much people that get catch with drugs. Yeah, Mama P even built house while she was doing all of those things. Yeah, you're right about that, Ryan. She was building schools too.
For us as a Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division, we have found that the barrier to ship is very low. We have found that you have a number of persons who are using these services with fake identification and using fake addresses to send drugs overseas. And our activities today were simply to disrupt those activities. We were successful in our efforts. We made a seizure of drugs that we are yet to weigh because the investigation is continuing. But we have made 2 arrests. These persons will be charged for the drugs that we have found today. We continue to investigate to explore whether they were inside a collusion, whether there were any other persons associated with this kind of activity. And as I said before, it's part of our broader effort to interrupt these activities.
You spoke about insider collusion. Is that something you're investigating for this particular matter?
I mean, insider collusion is something we investigate in all our matters. I mean, drugs involve a number of players acting in concert to participate in the trafficking of what we believe to be a lucrative trade. Where there are insider collusion, we are pursuing it. We investigate to disprove, as we also investigate to prove.
You mentioned how much of a problem it is. Is FedEx the only courier service where you're having this issue within Jamaica where people are using the courier services to transport their drugs?
I mean, no. I think all or most of the courier services in Jamaica are being affected. I mean, courier services were intended to support the movements of goods for legitimate Jamaican people, for ease of doing business and ease of accessing goods, and it is being infiltrated by people who are using it for illegitimate means. So it is a concern for us. A number of the courier service are being affected. I mean, some we have managed to secure good working relationship with, and some has not been so cooperative.
Is FedEx been cooperative?
I'm not willing to identify FedEx as to whether there are opportunities for cooperation.
And CVM TV has been tracking a developing story where the Firearms and Narcotics...
So you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? The man says some of the people that have these entities, not saying FedEx, but that service like FedEx, they're not cooperating with the police. Huh. Interesting.
Narcotics Investigation Division has taken 2 men into custody from the FedEx's head office on Halfway Tree Road. That's 40 Halfway Tree Road. Now, 2 men are being questioned right here now at the head office for the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division. And a white Toyota Axio has also been seized as part of this operation. We understand as well a quantity of cocaine has been seized. Of course, we're continuing to track this story and get information, and as soon as an update is available, we will provide that on CVM television.
Now, CVM News spoke with Director of FNID, Superintendent Patrick Roux, for an update on today's operation.
The operation today is a part of FNID broader effort to interrupt drug trafficking through the use of courier services. Last year, we had almost 200 cases of courier service seizures.
200.
And seizures means that we have seized a percentage of what was transshipped through courier services, which means that it's an area of significant concern for us as a Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division. We have found that the barrier to ship is very low. We have found that you have a number of persons who are using these services with fake identification and using fake addresses to send drugs overseas. And our activities today were simply to disrupt those activities. We were successful in our efforts. We made a seizure of drugs that we are yet to weigh because the investigation is continuing. But we have made 2 arrests. These persons will be charged for the drugs that we have found today. We continue to investigate to explore whether they were inside a collusion, whether there were any other persons associated with this kind of activity. And as I said before, it's part of our broader effort to interrupt these activities.
You spoke about insider collusion. Is that something you're investigating for this particular matter?
I mean, insider collusion is something we investigate in all our matters. I mean, drugs involve a number of players acting in concert to participate in the trafficking of what we believe to be a lucrative trade. Where there are insider collusion, we are pursuing it. We investigate to disprove, as we also investigate to
Antonio.
You mentioned how much of a problem it is. Is FedEx the only courier service where you're having this issue within Jamaica where people are using the courier services to transport their drugs?
I mean, no, I think all or most of the courier services in Jamaica are being affected. I mean, courier services were intended to support the movements of goods for legitimate Jamaican people, for ease of doing business and ease of accessing goods. It is being infiltrated by people who are using it for illegitimate means. So it is a concern for us. A number of the courier service are being affected. I mean, some we have managed to secure good working relationship with, and some has not been so cooperative.
Is FedEx been cooperative?
I'm not willing to identify FedEx as to whether there are opportunities for cooperation.
And CVM TV has been tracking a developing story where the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division has taken.
So, more crime, ladies and gentlemen, more crime. Westmoreland residents accused of shooting man with spear gun. Mayor patching works for Junction Main Road. 2 cops face probe over unaliving. Suspected links to 3 unaliving. More importantly, this story. Russia hosts Cuba foreign minister. Urges US not to blockade Cuba. Jamaica. Trust me, the way how things looking right now, that's a pre-reload season. This is a situation we need to watch. Russia urges US not to blockade Cuba. Alright? I'm not going to say anything more. Daba, charged for Manchester gun attack left 4-year-old unalived and her father injured. Mighty God. Anissa Wilson Smith, the empty engine. Why stem fails without a SEL foundation? This is something we have to look into, because anything we have to do with the STEM school, STEM or STEAM, that's something we have to look into. So hopefully, the article, it looks like the article can be read. Oh my God, no. Let me open this back in Jesus' name. Let me open this back in Jesus' name. Reopen, close window. Yes. All right, here we go.
Loading article. Popular News. December 2025. Study raises alarm over sexual practice. Loading article.
What?
Popular News. December 2025. Loading article.
What?
Loading article. Popular
News.
News. December 2025. Study raises alarm over sexual practices of Jamaican women.
Something just ain't right. Something ain't right, y'all. The article not loaded. That's a Bolo loading article. Alright, here we go.
eGleaner Classifieds mobile apps. Sign in, subscribe now. News. Anissa Wilson Smith, the empty engine. Why STEM/STEAM fails without an SEL foundation. 2-minute read. In the current landscape of Jamaican education, the buzzwords are unmistakable: STEM and STEAM. As a nation, we are racing to equip our youth with the technical prowess to navigate a digital-first economy. We build labs, invest in robotics, and overhaul mathematics curricula. Yet there is a silent, structural flaw in our approach. We are trying to run a high-performance engine without a cooling system. The engine is STEM. The cooling...
You guys hear that? Listen to that analogy. We are trying to run a high-performance engine without a cooling system. I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to these warnings. This is the second article that I've seen come out by trained professionals about the STEM and the STEAM thing, where Andrew Honest, hot up the people in head about. It's a pipe dream, Why is it a pipe dream? Because they're not putting the proper infrastructure and systems in place. You hear what you said? We are trying to run a high-performance engine without a cooling system. The engine is STEM. And the cooling system, listen to this.
Cooling system, and indeed the very fuel that allows for sustained performance, is social and emotional learning, SEL. Without a foundation of emotional intelligence, self-regulation, and collaborative confidence, our national push for technical mastery will not only stall, it will burn out.
So, basically, you cannot move to the high level of learning without actually making sure that the population has basic to mid level of competence. And as it stands right now, the education ministry has been failing for quite some years. The numbers do not lie, ladies and gentlemen. They have been failing for quite some years. So you should talk about social and emotional learning. Let's continue. The persistence gap.
Persistent gap. STEM subjects are, by their nature, defined by failure. Coding requires debugging. Engineering requires iterative prototyping. Scientific inquiry requires the rejection of 100 hypotheses before finding one that sticks.
True.
Research published in Digital Promise 2024 highlights that academic perseverance, the ability to stay on track despite setbacks, is not a product of IQ, but of effortful control and self-management. These are core SEL competencies. When a Jamaican student encounters a complex calculus problem or a failing circuit, it is their emotional resilience, not just their logic, that determines whether they push through or shut down. Without SEL, we are teaching students how to calculate, but not how to cope with the frustration of being wrong.
Oh, this is brilliant. Oh, I'm in 100% agreement. I understand totally what she's saying. Jamaica has this thing where we can't bother. We have a can't bother energy. Tell me when I lied. How much of us went to school and most of the persons that have maths problem is, yo, me can't bother. You know the people that persevere in maths and engineering and science, the one that were stubborn. They refuse to give up. No matter how hard it is, them determined to get it and them are going to understand it. Those are the persons that excel in those areas. So what she's saying is they need to teach SEL, social, emotional learning. Basically how to actually fail, right, and still persevere through the failure. Understanding the goal that failure is really not an option, it's just a bridge or a stepping stone to actually succeeding in whatever it is you're trying to succeed in that field. So this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant, right? I hope them listen, which I doubt they will still. You know, training the kids to have social, emotional learning. I don't think they will. I don't think they will. And I never thought about this, but this is actually very integral in any type of STEM or STEAM program in Jamaica. Right? You're not gonna have kids in those areas. They haven't built a school yet, you know. We are far away from the actual realities of a STEM or STEAM. Right? But we are so far away that we have not even started to teach our children how to have social emotional learning, how to learn like that. Please, thanks. You look like you wash your already, son. No, sir. Go on.
Wrong. The collaboration myth.
Listen to this.
The A in STEAM stands for art, representing the creativity and human-centered design required to make technology useful. Modern innovation is rarely a solo act. It is a collaborative symphony. A meta-analysis by Mahoney, Durlach, and Weisberg, 2018, involving over 1 million students worldwide found that SEL interventions increased academic performance by 11 to 13 percentile points.
What?
Why? Because students with high relationship management skills can navigate the friction of group work. In a Jamaican classroom, if students cannot manage conflict or empathize with a peer's perspective, the most advanced robotics kit becomes a source of tension rather than a tool for innovation. We are preparing students for a workforce where, according to the World Economic Forum, emotional intelligence is now a top 10 requisite skill.
Wow.
Cognitive.
Want to hear that? Emotional intelligence in the area of mastering creation. So basically she's saying when them change STEM to STEAM, listen, it sounds good, but art is individualistic. When it comes down to engineering, it's a group effort. When it comes down to creating, it's a group effort. It's a lot of different people working together to make that thing work. There has to be a symphony. It's like let me Google what a symphony is so you can understand. Hold on there, Google. Get the meaning of symphony. Because she used that word. And it's fitting. Right? Symphony. An elaborate musical composition for full orchestra. That means multiple people at once. Typically in 4 movements, at least one which is traditional in sonata form, right? So it is multiple people coming together to build the perfect harmony, and it brings symphony. So in creation, in these complex matters regarding science, technology, engineering, mathematics, art, the A really does not coincide. Art is more individualistic. STEM is more a large group of people coming together to make a very grand discovery that's going to benefit the entire human race in some capacity at some point, depending on what you guys are actually researching or looking to create, right? So, yo, this right here is solid, man. It's almost done. Let me go to Daryl Vaz.
Cognitive overload in the classroom. The brain cannot prioritize high-level cognitive functions like engineering design or complex analysis when it is in a state of emotional distress. Neuroscientific research confirms that the prefrontal cortex, the seat of planning and logic, is effectively hijacked by the amygdala during times of stress, anxiety, or trauma. In Jamaica, where many of our students grapple with community violence, economic instability, post-pandemic learning gaps, and now post-Hurricane Melissa learning gaps, their emotional engines are already redlining. To ask these students to excel in STEM without providing the SEL tools to regulate their stress is a pedagogical impossibility. A call to action. As we look toward the 2026 academic year, we must stop viewing SEL as a soft add-on or a luxury for the privileged. It is the infrastructure of the intellect. Life Skills Education Limited has seen firsthand that when schools prioritize social and emotional learning,
Karen,
academic recovery follows. If we want a generation of Jamaican engineers, scientists, and digital artists who can compete on the world stage, we must first ensure they can navigate the world within themselves. We cannot build a high-tech future on a low resilience foundation. It is time to put life back into our skills. Anissa Wilson-Smith is a lecturer and the CEO of Life Skills Education Limited, a Jamaican firm specializing in trauma-responsive teaching and behavioral management. Email
Instead of the Israel people them when them come within the parliament, Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, right? Instead of the Israel people them when them come with, we have people like this that are qualified in this manner. What is this person talking about? Instead of having Miss Anissa Wilson Smith, Mrs. Anissa Wilson Smith, by the way, excuse me. Yes, I don't know if it's Mrs., but you me see two last name them. You know, this young lady looks familiar. I think I know her. Maybe I don't, but I don't know. She looks very familiar. The black button is so easy to use. I don't know why people come on TikTok and throw insults. Once I see your insults, I'm gonna block you. What am I supposed to do? Go and argue with the screen? Yo, y'all is stupid, bro. Y'all is real stupid. Anyway, Daryl Vaz. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it appears, and I say it appears, and I hope people know what appears mean. Alright? It appears that Daryl Vaz is walking it back once again. Transporting roughly 16,000 students, he said, there has been a constant rollout of full complement of buses due to mechanical and other problems. So, the tired bus them with the one them both, right, is already tired. I would say that without apology, because those are reject buses, they always were. In reference to some of the buses experiencing challenges, Minister said some of them shut down for the slightest reason. Mighty God. So when the People's National Party was saying, brother, for us to get value for money, buy some new bus, go at Toyota, order the bus them. If you want a school bus for them, then can customize it with a school bus sign for all of them. Why the bus them did have yellow? Why they didn't have to look with the yellow and black stripe? Why? What was it about that? Huh? When name Daryl Vaz, you want to reenact some type of childhood dream, so him use our money and waste our money to buy the bus them. I know the bus them have mechanical problem. Duh. That's why they say you're going to take 110 of them and then have 10 of them for repairs. Because another thing, accessing the repair parts for the damn bus them when them give problems. Why not buy new buses? With the money, could I get about 80 at new bus? With the money. And we still don't believe that these buses were actually, cost what you said it costs. We don't believe you. Right? We don't believe you. Guys, remember that Port Antonio High School, 5 p.m., February 20th. East Portland, Isaac Buchanan, right? The Constituency Development Fund, right? That's the topic. So for my people in East Portland, make sure someone check in, Zine. All right. Property tax goes up. Life behind bar for the man who hit gun in the ceiling. Student among suspects found driving stolen Pro Box. Oh yeah, I did that already. One more thing I want to touch on. Mighty God. So Daryl Vaz, I mean, man, your entire party, your characteristics is the same. Like, bro, why can't you guys just tell the truth, man? Why can't you guys just admit? I remember when the People's National Party said they don't want to make any suggestions because when they make suggestions, something to that effect, when they make suggestions, the JLP out of pride does not want to actually take the suggestion, albeit it is a sensible suggestion. Who remember that? Who else remember that? Is it just me? Who else remember that?
This man tough dog cannot sting. When yes, I never want to get into the heart.
Okay.
Yeah. Too much. Vibrate too much. Click, die.
Oh, for the people that are here, I still have to advertise, although it's not already. I'm going, bless up yourself, Antonio. I'm going, for the people on TikTok, I need you to come over to Bolo VNR 2.0 on YouTube and subscribe. No, for the persons on Bolo VNR 2.0, I will soon be able to receive, I will soon have membership availability. It will be 3-tier, all right? And I want you guys to check them out. And if you want to support the platform in that manner, that's going to be now an option open very, very soon, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Trust me, I really grow your community and earn money. What is this? What are they telling me to do? It's ready to launch? Ooh-wee. Okay. All right. So officially, I just checked it. Officially, if you guys refresh your live stream on Bolo VNR 2.0, you should see a join button. Let me go and look on my phone. I think this phone can pick it up. You should see a join option. No, ladies and gentlemen, on Bolo VNR 2.0. Right? You should see a join option. Alright, let me see. Community. I don't know if I can see it here, so man. Let me go and play this. You want me to tell you, say God is good enough? God is the greatest. What is this now? Oh, you see that? This one go for. No, Andre, you never did have to do them so bad last night. We not even get to watch this yet. Oh God, I'm so busy.
And now in 2025, 2026, 11 years after, the liar fraudster, the liar serial rapist.
Grapist
He
Andre.
said to you, Jamaica, he would.
Andre, grapist. Andre, you know what I'm going to tell him? Now be careful. Now be careful with that word. It's a very sensitive word. Certain words, yeah man. I be telling. Hey bro, you know me there? Old friend me live and me I listen back to one party of live. You see, me up on the live right now, I send that voice note. You see that word there, R-A-P-E, say G-R-A-P-E. Trust me. Don't use R-A-P-E, use G as in grape. Yeah man, use that word instead. You hear me boss? Trust me my brother. Don't use that word there too much, yeah? God is good. I will say less. Yeah man, that word there is that dangerous word for the app. Anyway, let's continue.
Could even take court actions. And here is Barney. Here is short neck Barney coming to say ready to take on Mark Golding.
Yes.
Coming to take on Mark Golding, saying that Mark Golding is using political expedience.
Yes.
Me not look at short neck Barney. Look at Barney. Look at turtleneck Barney. Bolo Jamaica. Look at Barney.
Oh no,
look at Barney.
no.
Look
They
at
really
Barney.
edit him.
Let me find Barney.
Oh, Jesus.
Yo, them really edit him, yo.
Oh, hi there.
Watch Barney.
I'm so glad.
Watch it.
Do you know what else makes me happy? Our cartoon right now.
Barney.
You too, Nick.
Ishmael, here's the next picture when we did send with him beside a camera.
Oh my God, no, I missed this last night. Oh Jesus.
Fabric, then you can know when fabric cheaping.
What?
You don't know what kind of fabric this? You want me to tell you what kind of fabric this? Gabardine. What? Gabardine. Gabardine.
What can go so?
Yo, what?
Look on the fabric how it stretch around on it. Gabardine.
Yabadeen.
If at that use make uniform fabric. Uniform fabric in a gabard. Look on the fabric. Look. Put it up. Look for Barney. Look for him. I'm going to fix him business tonight. Israel put it up. Gabardine fabric.
Why in no, honestly, him look lean. Yo, him look like the Oscar. You know the Oscar and him not look so neat neither. Him look like one deformed Oscar trophy. When you see the Oscar trophy or the foot them small and then together and it come up and the upper body look a bit wider, I saw him stay. And him look lean. Him tie look lean. Yo, you can't tell the man say man ain't boss, no brother. Right now, you know. Him and Marlon Morgan are two big old puppy show in our party. Two big old puppy show. Yeah, one next one him kinda have one speck of credibility. But me get to understand say him not have none neither because him are the mastermind behind all of them media release. Yeah. Yes. So it's a three horsemen in our party from Nationwide, you know. We're associated with Nationwide, you know. We push the propaganda as members of the party, you know. What a crying shame, Jamaica. What a crying shame. Sad.
Cheap fabric. How much are designers would tell me? How much are you had enough for Gabardine? No, about 200 or 230, 250. Can now buy it in the thing from Pablo's in the might buy it wholesale down LPA. Gabadi minister, the Ray coming to attack Mark Golding, going to talk about how Mark Golding is using political experience. Only I realize that every time Mark Golding attempts to defend
the people of
something
Jamaica
in this country,
yes,
is either idiot coming,
yes,
or sourfish Barney
that
come
a
out
facts, that a facts.
thinking that they can take on Mark Golding, but I am going to be the pitbull for Mark Golding. So as I saw them attack,
hey, as I'm if you tell you, Andre, me not gonna allow it, especially when them tell lie on Marky G. I'm not gonna allow it. Me not allow it, brother. That's why me come do that live here, you know. I make me do that live here, you know. Could have more than easy back on the good holiday here, you know. And I do no live, you know. Me not even put out a video today. Not even one video. Me go live this morning early. Address what me need for address. Put that out there. Give the people them whole day if you catch a replay if they want. Right? And now me come on back and this from now till tomorrow morning again. For those who want to catch the replay. You feel what me I say? But me not gonna allow it because Mark Golding actually cares about the people of Jamaica. And he doesn't care about PNP or JLP per se. He cares about the people of Jamaica. I cannot say the same for the Jamaica Labour Party leadership. None of them, I cannot say it. I don't see where any one of them is genuinely caring about the people of Jamaica. The nasty, dirty, stinking politics that was being played years ago, that Andrew Jones came out when he was trying to win the election the first time. He deceived us into thinking that he's not a part of that nasty politics. Right? Blessed child, how are you, beautiful? Right? He tried to deceive us that he's not a part of that nasty thing. But he is a part of it. Look at the campaign that they ran against Mark Golding, knowing that Mark Golding is actually a citizen of Jamaica. Right? Knowing that they know people that went to school with Mark Golding. They knew what Mark Golding's father meant to this country and what he did for so many families. And what he did for a specific community that is often ostracized and not looked at all. None of them can walk in a Mark Golding's shoes just because I'm father alone and him father reputation and what the family stands for and Mark, I said it already, Mark Golding's father has done 10 times more for Jamaica than Andrew Jones' entire government. And I can't challenge anybody upon that. Talking about how you affect people's life. Literally. How you affect people's life. Not one or two. You hear what I said? If Mark Golding's father never come to Jamaica, what would have happened to so many people in that crisis, that health crisis? Right? And then Mark Golding not only takes up his father's legacy and continue it, he expands it. And he did not use his father's legacy as a crutch. The man built his own legacy in service of the people. Right? In his own advocacy for people. And you know him have a special place in your heart for the special community. You know that for a fact. The man literally, I watched him carefully, ladies and gentlemen. I have listened to him. The man has a heart of gold, bro. Just look at the positions that he takes. He's always considering how the people are going to maneuver. His first thought is about the people. Unlike Andrew Jones' government, listen, we're just going to tax the hell out of town, and we're going to use hurricane minister as an excuse. Can anybody say, Elaine, in good faith, that if Mark Golding was the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the situation that we have right now after Hurricane Minister wouldn't be more advanced in helping people? Just look at the position that Mark Golding takes. The man said, listen, what we need to do is get an independent oversight body that has all agencies involved, government and non-government agencies, all stakeholders, so we can have accountability where the money is coming in, tracked, being used and all of that. Full transparency. Not just to give me, make me have our responsibility as the leadership. No, we're going to open the door. But you know, that recommendation was not taken by the Jamaica Labour Party. So you see when the Auditor General report comes out, that nefarious activities occurred where the monies are concerned, the only finger you can point to is the JLP, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy that they did not include Mark Golding in their potential skullduggery that will be exposed shortly where the monies are concerned. All those monies that came in from overseas. When you think a scandal now go pop, when you make a sad mistake. A leopard don't change its spots. So much money now coming to Jamaica and somebody not dipping a cookie jar from the Jamaica Labour Party. Remember me tell you that. We already see scandals coming out. We already see scandals coming out. We already see that the ADPEM doesn't have no real tracking system. They haven't been doing proper inventory. What do you think that's going to lead to? The gaps, ladies and gentlemen, those gaps for stealing, robbing us. The gaps are there for robbing us, Jamaica. If they had listened to Mark Golding, there wouldn't be no gaps. Because Mark Golding doesn't have a problem with being held accountable. Andrew Honest has a problem with being held accountable. That is why he carried the Integrity Commission to the court and tried to shut down the actual part of the act that deals with illicit enrichment. He doesn't want to explain himself to anybody. You should just believe him when he say, I work hard, I'm start with 2 taxi. When his father come and say, I lie him I tell, no go so. A 30 taxi, how much taxi they are off. Not my word. We have that on file too. Evidence there. And if any time the video is deleted, trust me, the video is not deleted. You understand what I say? It is there, it's on file. You understand what I say, Blendan? It is on file. Yes, Blendan, may I tell you?
$300 yard to Gabardine fabric. $300 minister. What can go so? No boy can't track to me wearing a $300. Then could you come to Premier, gentlemen? So if him go, I want to see just in fine. Look at him, Jamaica.
But hold on. So I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna part-time JLP government. Sorry, Philip, how are you doing? Is the court case between Andrew and Buchanan? No, it's not over. And it's not between Andrew and Buchanan. It's between Buchanan and the body that shut down the process for him to take it to the next level. That's the case. It's not between Andrew. Andrew is indirectly implicated because when Paul Buchanan's win, the skeletons in the closet is going to lift up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be bang around. You hear what I said? Imagine you have a prime minister that loses his seat. He's no longer the prime minister. It's going to be bang around, ladies and gentlemen. That seat would have to be do-over. It's going to be bang around. What I say? It's going to be bang around. And right now, Christopher Tufton, I have heard from people in the grapevine in the party, or I have heard from people that know people in the party, that it will be bang around because Christopher Tufton is positioning himself. Remember, say PSOJ love Christopher Tufton. I feel them next star boy that, you know. He's not our star boy, but I feel them next star boy that. Because you know PSOJ is JLP. PSOJ is not PNP. You feel me I deal with? Yeah. You're welcome.
Look here. Look here. So when you come talking about Mark Jefferson and gaslighting, the reality is that he's paid by the nation to be the leader of the opposition. And if there is something that ought to be condemned and be called out, he has the right to call it out.
Yes. Yes. Remember, they want to shut up Mark Golding, and I want Mark Golding to continue to open his mouth in defense of the people of Jamaica, even when they don't appreciate it. One day, We have all the things on record that he stands on. One day their eyes will be open. Keep blazing the fire, Sir Mark Jefferson Golden. Keep blazing the fire.
But one time we used to say Marky G, nah say nothing. He must say something every Monday now. If we not talk no other time, expect Monday morning 7 o'clock. Marky G take on a matter Jamaica. And in take on the NHT, $11.4 billion.
And I love that video because he went for the receipts. He went back to when Andrew Holness hypocritically said, listen, I would never touch the fund because it's robbing the people. He said that. And we can play it, have it on file too. If they should delete it, it's on file. Hey, mama.
Andrew Holness looked on and said he wouldn't do it.
Yes, it's true.
He said he wouldn't do it, Jamaica.
Yes.
For the next 5 years. 11.4 billion I take out annually.
Annually.
And poor people not
To
getting
fund the
houses in
budget.
this
Yes.
land. As Mark Golding said, the NHG at this time should be building low economic houses for the people in Western Jamaica.
Of course.
You hear NHG attack, not about build house for people in Western Jamaica.
No, that's the point now. Because, like I said, what is the government actually doing for the people in those areas? What is they doing? And if they're not doing it, okay, fine. Them have them hands tied, them have whole heap of things to deal with, infrastructure, all of that and this and the other thing. Light to come back, they need everything, right? NHT needs to be the entity that is focused on that. Just like how ADPEM does what ADPEM does, the NHT needs to refocus its efforts solely 100% on giving the people low-income houses. As a matter of fact, from last year, there should have been plans to fast-track that before the year started. So by now, if they had fast-tracked that, they should have at least 40,000 new houses built, low-income houses. Yes, man. It can happen, man. It can happen. If they put the right money behind it, with the right personnel behind it, that is qualified, one to the builders community, what them call themselves, one to the builders society, get in a partnership with them, get all skilled men in Jamaica. What you talking about? Massive rebuild. Massive rebuild efforts, fast-tracked. People need roofs over their head. You think students are going to go back to school and don't have a roof over their head? When they come home, where are they going to do their homework? Under the sky, when rain is falling, under one tarpaulin, with no light? Are you slow? This is why we always maintain our position that the first thing that the man them should do is get the people them back with a roof over them head, Jamaica. We've been saying that. That's why I was arguing why you lend JPS the 150 million if they need 350 million US. Oh, we're gonna get the light back by February for all of Jamaica. February done, Jamaica. Them a talk about where? April, May, potentially June. Next thing are July, August, September, October. You know? One bag of foolishness them are going with. Right? So I'm glad some are going to blaze up the fire upon them.
They have ravished. So when you're talking about Bulga, you know what is Bulga? The purple suit. The gabardine fabric. Bulga for your Barney looking body. Gabardine scratch. And gabardine scratch.
Whoa! I'm careful behavior.
Where's the gabardine scratch? A gabardine me Jamaica walk through every fabric store in Jamaica. And there is no suiting in the royal purple that were available except New Vela and Gabardine. New Vela and Gabardine in Jamaica. No neck, sharp neck, troublesome, dirty looking man. Imagine how when him sweating at that, you know. Big back, Barney. So anytime when you come to Mark Golding, I'm going to come for you. I'm going to fix your business, Jamaica. Somebody say a polymath. Mighty God. that cheap. That probably about 150 a yard, you know, Jamaica. Look at him. Look. What is no? A man like you, where the whole and rob and thief in the country? Should I know some bespoke tailoring from Carlton Brown and Mark Anthony? Our premier, no, no can't come a premier because me no want to the business. Me no want to the business. Come. Me no want their money. Me come style up me good business. Old Gabardine. Wholesale material you want to look on him. Nasty, dirty character. And when you done, you can't talk about. So when you look at the facts in the country, Courtney, when you look and see what is happening, somebody say I'm not leaning. Jamaica, then the fabric that you want me book a consultation with Carlton, bro. 60,000 for the consultation. You and Babs here make enough money in this country after doing enough things you know have. So now they make the money after. And me go inside the stone. Yeah, the whole impact, you know, me shut them up. But them know what they do to make the money. And you can tell me say it's a gabardine. But the substantive issue at hand tonight, leave Mark Golding alone. Because he has the right. You are living out there, so you living around there, so. Round the sun live with the wife look good, but you don't look good up. Because you know all the woman, the Indian woman look this side of you. Because you know probably you just have to face it. You have to face it. Whoa! You have to face it, you couldn't do nothing else. Because I say, all right, when you're looking up, look for him. Ishmael put up at the picture where we look for him statue. You could look for his structure. Look all upon the belly right there. See, you see the belly take away from the substantive. So not they quote and then probably is a lady P. Is a lady P. You know, so it's 30. Whoa! No. 31 in the 35. So you have to face it. So when you look Jamaica, the whole right they support me with must have perform. It's heavy. So you can't perform the right way, Jamaica. Can't perform the right way. Him need to go get some.
Where was Auntie Claudette last night? Auntie Claudette, why you never hold Andre? Eh? Auntie Claudette, why you never stop Andre last night? Yo, Andre, you do the man where saw me there, Auntie. Yo, no, me can't bother. Well, them know them one another well. You know, because Andre did link with the JLP at some point. So Andre know the whole of them antecedents. Me not really go there, so. You know what I mean? No, sir. People, me are gonna feel right there, so because you don't know Andre, come on, you know. PDTV 8 o'clock. And I'm going about my business. Right about now. Janet, how you doing? One of my cousins died last night. Oh my God. My condolences. Wow. I tell you, say no man, I have to really constantly remind yourself of how much life is really fickle, you know, man. No one know at the hour, no one know at the time. So we have to make sure so we do the right thing, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. My condolences to you and your family, Janet. Janet is one of my moderators on Bolo VNR 2.0. Again, for the persons on YouTube, on TikTok, make sure you go over to my YouTube. And for the persons on TikTok, I have a link pinned, which is the Magnitsky Act in my bio. It is an act that you can use to, international act, we need 10,000 signatures. You can use it to combat corruption and human rights violations in Jamaica. Do not donate. When you reach that part, just share the link instead so we can have other persons. Do not donate to the petition. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again. See you guys later. Janet again. Heartfelt condolences to you and your family, my dear. Bless you. See you guys later. I'm out.